Hello students, today we are going to start with the next topic of emotional and motivational processes unit, and the name of the topic is attitude. Before we are going to start this topic, if I'll ask this question from all of you that what do you understand by attitude? So the most important thing about attitude is that nowadays people using this word attitude in a negative sense. Let's say that if xyz person don't behave with you in a proper way, you feel like he was ignoring you, or he or she was trying to put you down. So in that case, you just start saying this thing for that person, that this person is having attitude. But is it the real meaning of attitude? The answer is no, because the actual meaning of attitude is completely different as people use this term nowadays. The simple and you can say simplest meaning of attitude is simply that our likings and dislikings. The actual thing is that attitude is an important part of our day to day life. Without attitude we are nothing. That means if we have attitude in us, that is why we are able to deal with certain situations, we are able to deal with the people, we are able to deal with the family members, society, and many more people. And even if I am going to you can say assess my behavior towards some objects or any organization, that is just all because of the attitudes. So now we are going to discuss then what is the actual meaning of attitude. Attitude simply means likings or dislikings. That means if I like something or someone, that means I am having positive attitude, and if I don't like or dislike something, that means I am having negative attitude. So how are we going to define this attitude? So it can be defined as likings or dislikings of a person towards himself as well as about other objects, people, religion, organization, and many more. So attitude can be defined as our likings or dislikings of a person, that is towards himself, or as well as about other people, objects, religion, organizations, and many more. I'm just going to give you two examples so that you can understand it in a better way. Let's say that if I'll ask from you about you, that what do you think about yourself? If you are talking about the positive things about you, that means you are having positive attitude about yourself. On the other hand, if the moment I ask this question from all of you, that what do you think about yourself, and you start talking negative, I think I'm having this problem, I have this problem, that means you have some negative attitude towards yourself, and you need to work on that. Same thing happen with the other objects, people, and let's say this is a pen. Now pen is one thing and this is an object. If I am going to ask one question from you, that what do you think about this pen, now the people who are going to buy this pen, they have different experience with this pen. Every person is having their unique experience with this pen. Some people will say that this is a very good pen, some people will say this is not good, I don't like this pen. Same thing happen with any religion, organization, or any other objects. So that means every person is having his or her unique set of likings and dislikings, and we are going to develop our attitudes according to that likings or dislikings. So I hope now, with the help of these two examples, everything is clear to you that what is the meaning of attitude. Now, attitudes, basically it is of three types: positive attitude, negative attitude, and rational or neutral attitude. Positive attitude means every time, for every situation, for myself as well as for the others, I have positive attitude. Negative means I don't like. Positive may you are going to like. In the negative you don't like. Rational or neutral means neither you are going to say a very good or very means very positive attitude, nor very negative. It's called neutral or rational. Rational means when you have some kind of attitudes for something, for or for yourself or any object, and that is based upon the logics or your own experiences. For example, you buy a certain product and you experience with that, that may be any mobile phone, that may be any laptop, that may be any dress, and you are going to buy that thing. When you bought and you feel like this product, the this brand is very good, and then you are going to refer the same product and the same brand to the others. So that means this is your experience towards that object, and that is why you are referring. That is called as rational attitude, because you yourself is going to experience. On the other hand, if you don't have a good experience with the same product, then you are going to develop negative attitude. But this attitude is rational based, because you yourself is going to experience that, you can say, with that object, and that is why you are going to develop negative attitude. So this is about meaning and definition with its types. Now we are going to talk about factors affecting attitudes. What are the factors that affects our attitude? So in this, basically we are going to discuss 3 E's. So basically in the factors affecting attitudes, 3 E's that are going to affect your attitude. First E is environment. Second E is education. Third E is experiences. So first E is environment. First of all, when we take birth, we come in the contact with different environments. That environment includes home environment, family environment, society, religion, culture, friends, peer group, school, college, university, job, and many more. So these are the environments that we come across during our lifetime. So whatever kind of environment we are going to you are going to, you can say, receive in your life, the same kind of attitudes you are going to develop in your behavior. So if your home environment is positive, then definitely you are going to develop positive attitudes. If your society and culture, they are like very they are having rational kinds of attitudes, then definitely you are also going to develop the same kinds of attitudes. Then the second is education. Education factor is also going to affect your attitude. The meaning of education is knowledge. The knowledge that you are going to collect from your surroundings, in your school, college, in your family, the same kind of attitudes you are going to develop in your behavior. That means your knowledge affects your attitudes. Then the third is experiences. Whatever kind of experiences you are going to collect in your surroundings, that are also going to affect your attitudes. For example, if in your you can say school or college, the teachers and the other classmates, they were not supportive at that time. So that means you are going to experience negative towards them, and definitely you are going to develop negative type of attitudes towards the school teachers and for the schoolmates, or wherever you are, basically wherever you are, in whatever kind of environment you are going to experience certain things, you are definitely, that experiences are going to affect your attitude. So I'm going to repeat this: three E's that are going to affect your attitudes. Environment, yes, environment affects your attitude, and that environments includes home environment, family, society, culture, religion, friends, peer group, school, college, university, job. These are different kinds of environment, and yes, the environment is going to affect your attitude. That may be positive, negative, or rational. Education means knowledge, yes, knowledge also affects your attitudes. Then the experiences you are going to collect from the society, from the family, the same kinds of attitudes you are going to be develop in your behavior. Then the next is the development of attitudes, means how these attitudes develop in us. The first is acquired or learned. That while living in different kinds of environment, whatever we are observing in our parents, whatever we are observing in our society, school, college, we are going to acquire the same kinds of attitudes, we are going to develop the same kinds of attitudes in our behavior. Then the next is pressure. Sometimes we develop certain sets of attitude due to the pressure, because family members, society, culture, they pressurize us to learn something, and the same kinds of attitude we start developing in our behavior. Then some attitudes we develop in us, that is just because of somebody gives suggestion to us. For example, there is someone, you are not talking with that person, and then your xyz friends come to you, and he or she will say to you that this person is actually really nice person, I personally talk with that person, I think you should talk with that person. Now that means that yet your friend is suggesting, giving suggestion to you to talk to that person. So that means here, if you are developing some kind of attitude towards that person, that is why that is happening, just because your friend, he or she is giving you suggestion to develop certain kind of attitude towards that person. Then some attitudes we develop in us because someone gives us training. When we were young, our parents, they gives us some trainings regarding the family members, they gives us some trainings regarding, like for example, they say never tell lie, be honest every time. So these are some kinds of attitudes they are going to give us the training, and accordingly we are going to develop same kinds of attitude in us. Then some attitudes we develop in us, that is on the basis of the factual knowledge. Factual knowledge means the knowledge that we collect uh, uh, from the you can say social media sites, or from the books. That means that is fact based knowledge, the knowledge that we are going to collect from books, social media site, Google, YouTube, articles, magazine, research, that is fact based data. So yes, factual knowledge also going to develop your attitudes. Whatever knowledge we are going to collect from our surroundings, the social media sites, we are going to develop same kinds of attitude inside us. So, and yes, your personal experiences, whatever kind of experiences you are going to have in your life, the same kind of attitudes you are going to develop for the people. If you are going to meet with the people, and they are going to betray you, they are ditching you, then definitely it will be very difficult for you to trust on that person. That means you are going to develop some trust issues. So that means here, if you are having trust issues, that means due to your personal experiences in your life, you are suffering from such kind of things. And same time, if you are having very positive experiences in your life with friends, with the family members, then definitely you are going to develop positive kinds of attitude inside you. So these are some of the factors that are going to develop your attitudes, that may be in the positive, negative, or rational way. Now my question from all of you, that once if attitudes are formed, that may be positive, may be negative, may be rational, is it possible to change the attitudes? Change of attitude, and this is one of the most important question: change of attitude or modification of attitude. That once if attitude are formed, is it possible to change them? The first answer will be no, because initially it's okay to change the attitude. If the attitude is just formed, you can change their attitudes by using these techniques. But if the attitude is strongly positive or strongly negative, in that case it is really very difficult to change the attitude of that person. For example, you may have seen many of the adults in your life, it may be your friends also. If once their attitude is developed for someone, for example, you have one friend, and she just made a friend, and you know about that person that he is not nice, for he is not a nice person. Basically he is just using that person. Now you are having the knowledge, and when if that girl is having strongly positive attitude towards that person, and as a friend if you are going to suggest to that person, but on the other hand that girl is having strongly positive attitude toward that person because she loves him, then in that case it will be very difficult to accept you for her, because she is in love for that person, she is having strongly positive attitude for that person. In that case it will be very difficult to change that attitude. Same thing happen in the negative case. If once we develop a negative attitude towards someone, and that is specifically strongly negative attitude, in that case it is really very difficult to change that attitude. Yes, and specifically when it comes to the friends and family members, they cannot change their attitudes. They can give suggestions, and specifically whenever we as a friend or as a family members we give suggestion to someone, we give them suggestion on the basis of our own experiences, or we sometimes we become judgmental also, and the person in front of us is not ready to listen to us on the basis of your experiences. That is why in that case, specifically in strongly positive or strongly negative, to accept you, to accept your attitudes. So what can we do in that case? Because we are very conscious about our friend, that in future she is going to face some problems. So in that case we can use this attitude modification process that I am going to teach you now, to change the attitude of that person. So now we are going to discuss upon this attitude modification process or change of attitude. For that, first of all, the first person required, that is source person. This source person is going to pass the message to the receiver. Now who is this source person? Source person is going to be the psychologist. So we require a source person for that, who is going to pass the message to the receiver to change the attitude. Now whenever we want to change attitude of someone, then we must find out a source person. That source person should be a psychologist, a counselor, or a social worker or sociologist. Now this source person means whenever you are going to find out this person, you must identify some qualities inside him on the basis of which you can say that yes, this person can change the attitude of this person. So this person have some qualities, in which the first quality is trustworthy. The person must be trustworthy, means we can just put our trust on that person, that yes, this person, first of all, this person is not going to share my information with anyone. Second, many of the people, they are giving a suggestion for his or her name. Yes, that means this person is trustworthy. Third, yes, I am having this trust that this person is going to change the attitude of the receiver. So this is trustworthy. Then this person must have the knowledge of all the counseling skill, means this person must have skillful enough to change the attitude of that receiver. So skillful means the knowledge of all the counseling skills. Then the third quality is attractiveness. Now here attractive does not mean only that the good dressing sense, it means physically attractive as well as mentally. For example, a person who is well dressed, but the moment you are going to talk with that person, you don't feel comfortable with that person because this person is not having good communication skills. This person is not having that understanding that, how am I feeling right now. So that means when I'm using this attractiveness word, that person must be physically and mentally attractive, attentive, so that I can put my all trust on that person, that yes, this is the only person who is going to change the attitude of this person or me. So now when I'll be able to find out all these qualities in a person, then now just imagine that my receiver means the person whom I wanted to change. This person is in front of the source person. This person has told each and everything about his or her problem, and now source person has listened to him or her, and now this person is going to pass the message. And first form, that is suggestion. Now it may be that you may ask this question from me, or you may have this question in your mind, that as a friends, as a family members, we were also giving the suggestion, then what this person is going to do, he is also going to give the suggestion. But let me clear this thing to you, the suggestion given by friends and family members and the suggestion given by a source person, there will be a major difference between these two suggestions. When a family or friend or gives suggestion to someone, specifically to their friend, that suggestion is completely based upon their own judgments, their own past experiences. On the other hand, when a source person gives suggestion to someone, that is completely based upon non-judgmental attitudes, that is completely free from any biases, that is completely free from his own choices. So that means, that is why the first option, the first message form that a source person use, that is by giving suggestion to the receiver. And in case if the suggestion form does not work, here we can take even one example. Let's say that there is a student nurse, that she is your friend, he or she is your friend, and this person is having strongly negative attitude towards, let's say, any disease condition, okay, HIV AIDS people, that a nurse is having, your friend is having strongly negative attitude towards HIV AIDS people, and because she is in the medical profession, so we want her to change her attitude. So we started using this process, you find out a psychologist for her so that she can change her attitude. Now we first of all, we just find out these qualities in a source person, and now source person is giving counseling to that person. Now the first thing that a source person can do, that is the suggestion form. Now it may be that you will say that yes, as a friend I also suggested her, but what was your suggestion? It will be simple, like, I think you should not hate HIV AIDS people because you are going to work in the hospital setting in the future. How are you going to deal with the patients? Then it may be that it is going to risk your job, whatever. So that means that was completely based upon judgments. But when as a source person, let's say I am a psychologist, I'll say like Okay, let's say the person's name is uh, Kusum. Let's say I'll say, okay Kusum, I understand that you have this negative attitude for HIV AIDS disease condition, as well as you don't like HIV, the people who are suffering from HIV AIDS people, and I completely respect that thing, because all of us have certain set of attitudes, and if you don't like that thing, that is completely normal. I think now you are able to see the difference between the communication. I'll say that is completely normal, and I completely respect that. By using such language, I am just trying to manipulate my client. So then I'll say that uh, Kusum, will you please say to me that uh, is it okay that if you are going to go to the hospital, and that is your favorite job, and you are going to see the patients there, and suddenly you finds out and that this person is having HIV AIDS, and are you going to leave that job then how are you going to? I think you at least you should try. So that means here, when I am using my communication skills, suggestion form I am using, you were also giving suggestion, but my suggestion and your suggestion, there will be a difference in that. If suggestion form does not work, in that case I can use the another form, that is appeal to fear. Appeal to fear form means I am going to pass the message according to the receiver, but I will put some fear inside that. For example, let's say that you are a smoker. Now you go to the shop and you ask for a cigarette, but this shopkeeper is not going to ask from you that why are you why you want to buy this thing, you know very well this is harmful for health. This shopkeeper is never going to say this thing to you. On the other hand, because you are paying to that person, and now you are going to give money to that person, and this person is going to give you the that cigarette. But on the other hand, on this uh, uh, cigarette, there is a written message there that it is injurious for health. So that is called as appeal to fear form. Means we are going to pass the message according to the receiver, but there will be some fear inside that. Then the next is one sided versus two sided message. One sided message means only the source person is going to pass the message. How? One sided message approach we use when during the session we feel like my receiver is can be easily manipulated. That means I don't need anyone else to change their attitude. So that means in that case only the source person is going to change the attitude. Two-sided approach we use when during the session source person finds out that my receiver is having strongly negative attitude for that particular thing. In that case I am going to use two-sided approach. Now how this two-sided approach works? Let's say here is the receiver and here is psychologist, that means your source person, and here is family and friends. So in the one sided approach only the source person was passing the message, but in two sided approach, when psychologist finds out that my receiver is having strongly negative attitude, in that case psychologist one sided he is passing the message to the receiver, other side he is passing the message to the family and friends. Means he is giving two type of counseling, receiver to the family and friends also. Now family and friends also going to pass the message to the receiver. That means now receiver is in between, here the psychologist, here friends and family members. So they are also going to pass the message. So this works like a sandwich method. means when receiver is going to feel the pressure, then definitely he is going to think about this thing. I think I must work on my attitudes, because when he is under some pressure. So this is about two-sided approach. Now when the psychologist is using all these methods to change the attitude, now the last turn is of the receiver. Selective attention. So there are some responsibilities of the receiver also, and interpretation. That when the source person is passing the message to the receiver, it is the responsibility of the receiver to attend that message in a selective form and take the interpretation of that message as the source person wanted to say. Then influenceability, because everyone is trying their best to change the attitude of the receiver, source person, family and friends. So it is the responsibility of the receiver also that it should influence him or her. And when every process is influencing him or her, then it means the attitude is going to be changed. So this is what our purpose was, modification of attitude. So this is about attitudes. Now in the last, if I'll talk about the role of nurse, that is what is the role of nurse in changing the in the attitude topic, or attitude in health and sickness. Now all of us are well aware about this concept, that what is the meaning of attitude. Attitude simply means likings and dislikings, and rational attitudes are of three types: positive, negative and rational. So it's a duty of the student nurse or a professional nurse to develop certain sets of attitudes inside her, so that she can build a nice personality. She must develop this attitude, that is the positive, happy go lucky, up to date knowledge, honesty, and be responsible. Such kind of attitude she must develop in her behavior or his behavior, so that he or she can feel good, and she or he can develop a good personality, specifically towards her attitudes. And if she feels like she is having some kinds of negative attitudes or positive attitudes that are strongly negative or strongly positive attitude, in that case she can work on herself, and she can use this attitude modification process to change her attitudes. And she can also help the other people also for the same. So this is all about attitude topic. And this is in the next class we are going to talk about the next topic, that is the stress. And if you have any doubt related with this topic, you can just write me in the comment section. Till then, take care. Bye bye.